Hi, this is a response to the Library of Sarah, and the topic is buying books or borrowing books. And I was going to leave a comment on her video, and then I realized that I had way too much to say on this topic, so I thought I would just make a video. First, I'm going to say that generally I like to borrow books more than buying them, and I have a couple reasons for that. The first reason that I prefer to borrow books rather than buy them is that borrowing them is free. I don't really like spending money that much, and I especially don't want to spend money on a book if I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not. And the really nice thing about my public library is that you can actually request for them to buy a book. So if you go to the library and you can't find the book you want, you can go to the front desk or go online and you can request that they purchase that item. So I've done that several times over the last several years, and we get to keep the books for 3 weeks, and generally that's not a problem for me with finishing them. I mean, a lot of times I will check out a book and not read it at all, but I've hardly ever checked out a book, started reading it, and then had to return it before I was done with it, because usually if I start a book and get into it, then it doesn't take me 3 weeks to read it. It only takes a couple days. There are certain cases, though, that I really prefer to buy books, and that's when it's a book I really, really love, and or it's something that I'd really like to share with my friends. There's not that many that are like that, but there's definitely some, and especially like the Harry Potter books, obviously I have to own those, and my favorite books, I have to own those. But in general, I don't go out and buy books new. I actually probably have less than 10 books that I've actually bought from an actual bookstore at full price, just because I don't like to buy books unless I know I like them. What I really like to do actually is buy books secondhand. I really like to buy used books from either the half-price bookstore or a thrift store like Goodwill or Salvation Army. For example, just today I was at Goodwill and I found a bunch of Meg Cabot books that I really like. Pants on Fire, Ready or Not, and Avalon High, and these were about $1.50 each. And these are books that I've read and that I know I like, and they're books that I'd want to share with friends, and I just like to have on my bookshelf, because I do agree that it's really nice to have all the books that you love displayed in a bookshelf, and you can just look at them, and it's kind of a weird, nerdy, like comforting thing to have a bookshelf full of books that you love, but I definitely get that. So while I really prefer borrowing books from the library because it's cheaper, there's definitely times that I really like to buy books, which would be when I know I really love them and I want to share them, or if they're really cheap at a used bookstore, and also if it's like the next book in a series that I'm reading, or like with the Harry Potter books, obviously I went and got those at midnight. I bought them right away. And like with Mockingjay in the Hunger Games trilogy, I got that when it came out. So there's definitely exceptions to my preference, but in general, I really like to borrow books from the library and not buy them new from the store. Thanks. Bye.